Welcome. You are in the lab room. I'm your host, Lou. Thank you for joining me. Week number 13, National Football League Showdown Sunday, as I have dubbed it, aka Line in the Sand Sunday. Every team in the National Football League has had their bye. Now they're going to be playing all 32 teams, 16 games on the docket each and every single week from here on out. This was the first of the remaining weeks that are going to have every team on display in the league since about week number 3 when we started these buys. And so I felt like this was a very evenly matched week in the National Football League. Every game pitted two teams against each other that either had something to prove to themselves, to each other, or to the rest of the league. And in this game, even though you could look at it at face value and say, what's in this game? Why is this a showdown Sunday matchup? Atlanta Falcons traveling to Canada to take on the Buffalo Bills. And I would tell you that if you're the Atlanta Falcons, prove to the league that you haven't quit on Mike Smith. Win a game, okay? Show me the fight and the resolve that is necessary of a team that was one quarter, one play, one drive away from going to the Super Bowl a season ago. Show me that this team still has some fight left in the tank. If you are the Atlanta Falcons, at 2-9, you're one of the worst teams in the league. You've been beat up by other bad teams, and now it's just getting out of control. And you're having people question whether Mike Smith still has the pulse of this team. And I don't think that's fair. All he has done since he has taken over as Falcons head coach is win. And so now that he's having a really bad season, people are starting to jump on him. You need to come to his defense, win football games. Here's a chance to do that. If you're the Buffalo Bills, at 4-7, your playoff hopes are probably slim to none at this point. However, it's still a chance, just like Jim Carrey and Dumb and Dumber. It's 1 in a million, so you're telling me there's a chance. That's what I'm saying. There's a chance, but you got to win. And here's a bad Atlanta Falcons football team at 2-9 coming to your place. And look, I'm done with the Canada games. What about you? I don't know. It just doesn't feel like a real Buffalo Bills home game when these road games take place in Canada. It feels like going overseas to London. The Bills aren't, to me, at a great advantage when they go to these games in Canada, even though it's a more than partial crowd in the favor of the Bills. I just don't like these Canada games. I'd much rather see them play their whole slate at Ralph Wilson Stadium, where I know the crowd is going to be raucous, where I know the Bills are going to have a distinct advantage. Don't like these Canada games, and to me, this game really didn't have the feel of a real home game for the Buffalo Bills. But let's break this thing down as the Bills still have a shot. It's an outside shot. It's a long shot, but it's still a shot nonetheless to get to the postseason at 4-7. They just got to win. Continue to win and see where the chips fall at the end of this season. So 2-9 Falcons, 4-7 Bills. After a C.J. Spiller 77-yard run down to the 5-yard line, E.J. Manuel runs it in from 3 yards out. It's 7-0 Buffalo. That's what you do to bad teams. You jump on them early, you establish dominance in the football game, and you run away with it and hide, and never to be seen again. That's what you do to bad teams. And it looked like that's what the Bills were going to do. That's what I expected this Bills team to do in this football game. Jump this Atlanta Falcons team early and often and never look back. Aided by a pass interference penalty on Weatherspoon and a holding penalty on McClain, the Bills score another touchdown on a 3-yard C.J. Spiller touchdown run. It's 14-0 early in this football game. That's what I'm talking about. Jump on these clowns. Put them out of their misery nice and early. Now look, as a 2-9 football team, if you're the Falcons, you could have easily packed it in and said, you know what? They've got our number today. Here we go again. We're a bad team. They're beating us. And this thing could have went south quickly. Easily. And on most bad football teams, that's what happens here. You don't come and climb out of a 14-point deficit on the road against a team that many could argue is better than you. That just generally doesn't happen. You fall behind by 14. You're a 2-9 football team. You're on the road. You usually go into a shell, into a tank, and you get blown out. However, nice response by the Falcons. Down 14-0. Matt Ryan really starts to heat up, draws a personal foul penalty, and hands off the ball to Steven Jackson for a 27-yard touchdown gallop. It's 14-7. That's a great response. That's more than a nice response. It's a great response, and it shows resolve. It shows grit by this Atlanta Falcons football team. Big drive to really get back into this football game. It's 14-7. Bills extend their lead to 17-7 with the 29-yard field goal. What a 29-yard field goal says to me is that you got into the red zone and you couldn't get it in the end zone. That's not a good field goal attempt. You'll take the points. You much rather have a touchdown. Look, field goals don't win games. Touchdowns do. You know the mantra. Got to get 7 there. 29-yard field goals are usually bad. Bad, all bad. You look at the Bills being gashed on the ground. And look, this was disappointing because you're stopping them in the air. Matt Ryan really isn't carving you up. He started to heat up. He was playing solid football, but he wasn't scoring the football through the air. They were gashing you on the ground. Steven Jackson, longest run of the season, 27 yards for a touchdown. Then Anton Smith gets you for a 38-yard run for a touchdown. It's 14-17. You're still up 3, but the Bills are getting gashed on the ground with big plays in the run game. And you know, the 5 and the 3 and the 2-yard gains aren't killing the Bills. It's the 27 to 38-yard scampers that are really hurting them in the run game right now. Bills only up by 3. As time expires in the first half, Matt Bryant ties it up with a 49-yard field goal to knock the game up at 17 all. So we're tied at 17 at the half, and that's a theme in this football game, being tied. After driving the ball all the way down to the 1-yard line, the Falcons go backwards. 10 yards. That's what bad teams do. Matt Ryan falls down, foot is stepped on by his center, falls down. That's a loss of 4. They have a false start penalty, backs them up again 5 more yards. And so it's 3rd and goal from about the 10 or the 11-yard line, but they still manage to throw an 11-yard touchdown pass to Tony Gonzalez. Tony G comes up big, catches the football, gets in the end zone, 24-17, Falcons up top. Muffed snap by Matt Ryan, recovered by Kiko Alonso, and one play later turned into a 21-yard screen to Fred X. It's a touchdown. It's a tie ball game. All knotted up at 24. So Bills respond, taking advantage of the Atlanta Falcons miscue. It's a tie ball game at 24 all. A big completion to Robert Woods plus a personal foul defenseless receiver hit sets up a 36-yard touchdown scamper by C.J. Spiller. Bills take a 7-point lead. At this point, I thought they were going to win the game. This is when they're supposed to run away and win this football game because they're the better team. C.J. Spiller, huge game. Already talked about a 77-yard run. Here's a 36-yarder. So you know he was well over 100 yards on the evening. 31-24, Bills up on top. Aided by Bills penalties, including a pass interference in the end zone on 3rd and goal from the 18. Steven Jackson scores from the run, and it's 31 all. Bad penalty. You cannot give up a pass interference in the end zone on 3rd and 18 or 3rd and goal from the 18-yard line. At that point, you got them right where you want them. You let them off the hook, and your end result, a tied ball game, 31 all. But you've got a chance to win. You get the football back with plenty of time to drive down and win this game in regulation. And Stevie Johnson, to me, seems like a guy that's always making monumental mistakes in money time. At the end of the game, when it's a chance to win, it's money time. It's winning time. And it seems like Stevie Johnson always saves his worst for last. He's got the football after a nice throw from E.J. Manuel. You're in field goal range to win this game. And Stevie Johnson coughed the football up, recovered by the Falcons. We are off to overtime where the Bills win the toss. They get the football first. And second play of overtime, E.J. Manuel, another nice strike, this time to Scott Chandler, who also coughs the football up. Falcons recover. A couple of plays later, they're in field goal range. Matt Bryant knocks the football through the uprights. Game over. Everybody drive home safely. I do not like the Bills in Canada. Here's your end result. 34-31 in overtime victory for the Atlanta Falcons. Snaps their losing streak. They're now 3-9 on the season. Are the Falcons. Bills drop to 4-8. Bad loss if you're the Buffalo Bills. This is hard to stomach because this is a game you were supposed to win. Had many opportunities to win. You're up 14-0. You take a 31-24 late lead. You got the football in scoring range. At the end, Stevie Johnson fumbles. You get the ball first in overtime. Scott Chandler fumbles. You had every opportunity to put this game away, and could not do it. And so you allow a 2-9 ball club to come into your place or into Canada and take a W. That's a tough and bitter pill for me to swallow. I picked the Bills to get it done. That's a loss for me on my sheet. Really don't appreciate that. And so, a big win for the Falcons. You get off the schneid, and I see the fight. You have not quit on Mike Smith, and that's what I wanted to see. You went out and you proved that, hey, we're still fighting hard for our head coach. He's a good coach, and you get it done on the road. Big win. You go to 3-9. Bills dropped to 4-8. Bad loss by the Buffalo Bills, but it happens. That's going to do it for me here in the lab room. I thank you for joining me. That happens in the National Football League, whether big or small. We cover it all here in the lab room. Thank you for joining me. See you as I continue to break down week number 13, a.k.a. Showdown Sunday here in the National Football League.